Oh yeah, sweet. This is the Ricco Fajardo mukbang. Thank you for attending. We're starting a little bit late. That's okay. The time is currently 3:03. I have a turkey and ham sandwich with some provolone and some mustard. There's also some Lay's potato chips, cheddar and sour cream. No, anyway. I don't know how to do ASMR, guys. I don't know how to do all that stuff. I don't know. We made fun of it in a commercial once, and I wasn't sure how to talk about it. Oh, shoot. That thing just fell down. You don't need that, right? HDMI? Okay, cool. I was like, something just fell. Anyway. Yeah, it's literally like, you sad today? I have that. Oh, no, that's an Audio Technica. My bad. It's funny. You can see different microphones, you guys. You do voiceover long enough. You're like, oh, I know what that is. The industry standard for on camera is this lovely like Sennheiser little shotgun Sennheiser mic, little shotgun mic that captures in a conical area. The one that we always use in the booth is the other German mic. All the Germans have the best microphones. Gosh, I can't think of it right now. The AK, not AKG, the Neumann. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just like rifling off knowledge. Hey guys, how's it? Hope the day's going good. I didn't eat yet, so I brought food. So hopefully this doesn't bug you that I have my, fake energy here, and then the real energy behind it. But yeah, I was contemplating. I was maybe gonna bring a guitar today. It didn't happen. That's okay. It's fine. So this went from being a music panel to then just another sort of like me figuring stuff out panel. I also have my iPad and things, so we could play games and just hang out, or we could do a proper Q&A, which is just fine. Again, if you came to the last panel, you probably know that how I feel about Q&As. I'm like, they're fine, they're okay. Like I've done Q&As. I've been doing cons for almost 6 years now. Met a lot of cool, fun celebrities, and yeah, there's like fun questions to ask. But I'm like, it'd be so much cooler to like do a thing. You know what I mean? Like I wish this was just a big fat escape room and we could just all play together. Like that'd be sweet. I know. I was like, cue the door closing. But it's cool. It's fine. I would have brought a board game. How many of us are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What's that? Recreational program for major. I know, and I'm a drama teacher, so like I could also just be like, it's time to get up and play red light, green light. But I'm not gonna do that. Too. Like I love. Right, which I considered. I did consider this game room. We have 15 of us, 16. Hello, good to see you. Welcome back. One of I love werewolf games. I love lie to each other games, you guys. Probably predictably so as an actor. Anyone like watching like Texas Hold'em and things where people are like, ooh, that guy's got a really good hand and he's like about to lie. And then, on the river card hits and then they're like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. I fiend off of that stuff of like people, communication. And actually even like something fascinating about werewolf and Texas Hold'em, it's like you really don't know. You're always playing the odds. You know what I mean? You don't for sure know. And that's there's a game out there. My buddy Ryan Blitzer, he prefers Secret Sith, but Secret Hitler is another game that's out. And Secret Hitler is a game where it's there is one person who is the bad, and you're trying to find who they are, but they're preying upon the other folks in the room who don't know and are just trying to do the right thing. It's super sad, but it's fun. It's really, really good. I actually have to do like a little cast prayer before that game because I've had some people get really hurt from it because when the game finishes and they're like, it's you, and they get it wrong. And then the game ends and they're like, it was Ricco. I will never trust you again, ever. And I'm like, it's a game, you guys. It's okay. Like Among Us, but like hot mode, flaming hot Among Us mode, like we want to call that. But yeah, I adore those kind of games because you have to, it makes everyone just have to kind of like clear the slate of your mind and imagine someone brand new, which is essentially what acting is all the time. It's just like, okay, it's not who I am. This is who you are now. This is your new identity. Good luck. And it's always funny to watch your friends try to lie. That's a treat. Any other board gamers in the room by chance? People play board games? Kendall, what do you play? What kind of games do you play? I play everything. But like, what's your go-to? What do you pull off the shelf that like is like, hey, people are. not you're gonna be dominant in, which I mean, unless that's your get, but like something. Well, yeah, why not? Why the fuck? Why not? What would you play?
I wreck people in Monopoly.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Monopoly too. What's your strat, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, you think it's a secret? You think you think we don't know? You think we don't know how to play Monopoly? Well, okay, let me ask you this. If you could choose any of the props, because that's how good we are. We don't call them properties because we play enough Monopoly. We call them props. What color props do you go for first? You're wearing Bakugo orange, and if you don't say orange,
No, I was gonna say orange.
orange is the best. Mathematically, you guys, if you don't know this, in Monopoly, orange is the best property to get. Based on all the cards of people that go to jail, when they come out of jail, you roll. The chances of landing on orange are the highest on the board. So if we're being mathematicians, we would say that orange is the best prop. I love Skid Row. I love the two brown properties right by Go that are cheap. You can build them up very quickly. They're actually not the best bang for your buck, but I just like the idea of you rolling through this like not really nice neighborhood, and I'm like, give me $400, and you're like, I just made this mall. Give it to. I just passed. Yeah, I know. Not anymore. Not in this neighborhood. There are the game-ending props, you know, like freaking all the blues and the greens. Those ones are pretty heavy hitting, and the medium ones, the reds and the yellows, are pretty good. But yeah, actually, like the orange and the purple's not bad. But yeah. Anyway, so that's your strat. Like, what was your strat? What do you try to wheel and deal with people?
Oh, opposite.
Okay,
Literally.
so this is important. 'Cause who plays Monopoly and doesn't trade? So you all trade then, because that's a key part of this game.
You have to.
I'm like, I like to be like, no, let the dice fall where they may. I will never trade with you. I will like, yeah, I'm like, no, I have it. I will buy a prop just to ruin your Monopoly and hold on to that. And then people are like, Ricco has to die so we can let the game, like, you need me to lose so that way the properties go back into circulation, you know? But yeah, it's pretty painful. I'm that player. I'll like be the, yes, I'll stonewall you. What other games? What other board games you guys like? Yes.
I like to play Love Letters.
What is it?
It's a card game. It can be as long or as short as you want it. The average is about 5 to 6 minutes.
Wait, what is the name of it?
Love Letters.
Love letters.
Funny story. I discovered at a different con. I thought it was a
Take a-
love letter writing competition. Yeah, it's not.
So what is it?
Your mission is to get the love letter to the princess, but in secret. And each card has a special ability. However, you're only allowed to have 2 cards at a time.
Is one of us the princess?
Oh, one card is. You can't have a princess card. And if someone guesses that you have the princess card, you lose. But that's,
So it's like Secret Hitler. Wouldn't it?
but you also get a guard that can protect you. So depending what card will either protect or hinder you.
So this is kind of like Werewolf, I guess, a little bit as well. You have like secret identities.
More simple.
Who's played Love Letters? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Did you enjoy it? Okay, cool. I've never played it, is all. So I'm trying to like get an understanding.
It's like $15 you can find on Amazon, and also they have different versions. They
Okay.
have, like samurai, they have Victorian. Batman's the hardest one. That's the most expensive one. I haven't got that one yet.
I was like, what? Love Letters Batman edition? What is that like? Well, I guess that's if you want. It could be the Riddler. Riddler's actually my favorite, like DC Batman villain. I love Riddler. Like, what a weird this guy. He made just a big escape room out of Gotham. That's like what he did. I was like, that's cool. A lot of effort, a lot of time that man put in to be like, yeah, Batman. Oh, it's so good, dude. It's so good.
Popular game that my fiance and I play all the time.
Wonderful. Love letters. I'll take a look. You guys ever played Betrayal at House on the Hill? Or yeah, that one's a good one. Mansions of Madness. You play like Mansions of Madness is good, you guys. That one's driven. It's like app driven, so it kind of guides you. It doesn't kind of. It guides you through the story and does all the kind of heavy hitting math for you. Not that there is, but it can be laborious to like. All right, let's get out the character sheet to see what this monster does to you. But the cool thing about that game is you have a health bar and an insanity bar. And so certain characters have stronger sanity, like the priest is very faithful. So like he has very strong sanity. He's not the strongest, but like when he enters a room and there's like a monster, when he has to do a sanity check, he can like maintain his integrity pretty good. But like say the detective, who's like a little more grounded in reality, he has a Tommy gun, which is dope, but he's like, what the hell is that? And he could get driven insane. Then you get insanity conditions, which are really cool. So like, I might become a klepto, which like, so for instance, if we're about to exit the place, we need to run out of this burning building, but I have my hidden thing, and my hidden thing is I have to try to steal from someone who's nearby. And like, I don't know, Caitlin has the key, and I go, I'm gonna try to steal the key from you. You're like, why? I'm like, I have to. And I roll the dice and I steal the key from you right as this monster's chasing us. It makes the game so dramatic in the way that it carbonates, like, because typically if we're all playing co-op, right, we're like, let's just focus, fire the objective. But the board does a real good job of like hamstringing your efforts, which is really cool. But yeah, man, it just makes me want to play games. But there's like 17 of us. I mean, we could just play like tag. No, but anyway. Oh man. Well, shoot. Okay, I guess we could start it off, kick this off since we are. Let's see. Where's my phone? Oh wow, already 15 minutes. It's 3:15. At the ripe time of when the bell tolls at 4 o'clock, I must return back to the table, a different location out there. But for now, I'm with you at this table. Do you guys? For instance, by the way, sorry, my name is Ricco Fajardo. Official introduction to the panel. I'm an actor. Yes, that's correct. Is that a SpongeBob? Is that a Spongo de Bob reference? By the way, Tom Kenny, super ADHD. I'm met Tom Kenny the other convention I was at. Dude's like a wonderful musician. Have you guys ever heard like SpongeBob sing? He's so good. He's like so good. Anyway, back to the introductions. My name is Ricco Fajardo. You might recognize my voice from such things as Mirio Togata and My Hero Academia, Taiju Oki and Dr. Stone, Kareem Flom and Fire Force, what is the guy in Red vs. Blue? Gankins, the main antagonist in Red vs. Blue in the baby days of YouTube, if you guys have seen Red vs. Blue. What else? I play the host in a Chuck E. Cheese entertainment video. I was I was cop number 2 in Rumors. I told you that if you came to the panel last time. Anyway, I'm an actor. Did my undergraduate at University of California, Irvine, focusing in musical theater. Did my master's at SMU in Dallas, Texas, focusing in classical theater. So Shakespeare, Chekhov, all that stuff. Love circus, gymnastics, parkour, really physical arts. Wound up working when I was in Dallas at Funimation, among many other things. You guys probably know me mostly for animation and video games, which is totally cool. But I do a bunch of on-camera stuff as well. So if you've ever seen me like on commercials or a random TV show, you're like, that cop is Rico. They keep casting me as a cop. I've been trying to grow my hair out just for that reason, because I usually keep it pretty tight. They're like, yeah, you're a police officer. I'm like, what the hell? He's just a narc. I got narc energy. But like, anyway, he's too pure. That's literally the note I got. I auditioned for what was it? Better Call Saul, and they're like, it was for like a gang member or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, we want like, someone who can fight and like shoot stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. And I auditioned. Like, your audition's really good. Just the casting director said like, you look too nice. You just look like a nice guy. And I was like in the audition, I was like literally cutting a guy's throat open with like a butter knife. And I'm like, you thought that was nice? I did it nicely. Anyway, whatever, it's fine. It's okay. People see what they're going to see. You just keep auditioning. But yeah, so I'm trying to grow out my gang member hair. I don't know. My gang member man bun. No, but anyway, we'll see. It's funny. That's the cool thing about voice acting, you guys, is like literally, yeah, all bets are off. Like you just get in there and it's your instrument. But yeah. Anywho, so that is my my log line of who I am, at least educationally, and a little bit of like what I've done work-wise. Love theater, love movies, love all things, usually performance. I say usually with the asterisks, some things I don't like. But yeah, what do you guys have any burning questions for me at all in regards to any and all things performance, acting, anime, video games, or otherwise? It can be literally anything, because I got this sandwich. Yes, please.
What's your favorite video games and movies?
All-time favorite video game is Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That one changed my life. I'm writing a book with my brothers called The Tao of WoW, where we talk about the different games at different parts of our lives that mean a lot to us. If you guys take a look at your own life, circa 12, 13 years old, you encountered either a board game, a video game, something you played at school, or a book that you read that changed you like irrevocably. We're talking about that in this book. For me, it's Chrono Trigger. For my I did a panel on it. Actually, I still do a panel called the Tao of WoW, and I'll have people come in and we bring out scraps of paper and you write like a memory of a game. Really, it's mostly like something that you were at play doing. So it could be sports as well, things like that. But anyway, long story short, we write on a scrap of paper like a specific moment of it, and then we put it together and then talk about this game. And it's pretty surprising, you guys, like the amount of stuff that we encounter in our young age that like changes us. So for me, it was Chrono Trigger, and yeah. Anyone familiar with that game by chance? Okay, good. Like at least 4 of you. That's wonderful. I'll say that without spoiling too much, the game is very old. So if you haven't played it by now, sorry. But like, there's a sequence in the game where you can. There's a character named Frog, very valiant, strong character who has been turned into, yes, a frog. His real name is Cyrus. Spoilers. But he tells you this sad story about how his mentor Cyrus was training him to be a knight. They went to go fight Magus, the big evil wizard who's been plaguing the land. And he kills his mentor Cyrus. And when he's sitting there, a squire, like scared, holding on to all the gear, they're like, he's such a worm, he won't even fight because he's so scared, right? He's just a child. So he's like, I'll turn you into something more fitting your form, and turns him into a frog. You meet Frog as Chrono in the medieval era, and he's like badass. This guy's awesome. He can heal you by licking you. Sounds very anime. Hey, it's good. He goes, bow. Very like Yoshi, like blang, ba-dam, which is really cute. But he's awesome. He's one of your first healers, which in a game you know is very important to restore your HP. He hits like a freight train, and he's actually one of the first characters. He uses like this big claymore, and he bounces up with his little frog legs and goes bam with this huge claymore. Super cute. One of the first characters that has a dual tech, which introduced in this game. Your character, whoever you are, which by the way, everyone in this room, you all have, if we were in the Chrono Trigger world, an element. It is either lightning, light, shadow, fire, water. There's no earth. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, in this game, in this world, right? So the character you play, Chrono Trigger, is lightning. His best friend, Luca, is fire. She works with science. She's very, what is it, Mei Hatsume coded in My Hero Academia. She always wants to create all these things. Robo, her robot friend, is classified as shadow because technology is like shadow magic, which I thought was kind of cool. The sweet princess, spoilers, uses water/ice. Same thing with Frog. Technically, she's water. I'm sorry, Frog is water, she's ice, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I'm getting lost in the weeds here. But the reason why I bring up all of those elements is because Chrono, who uses lightning, mixes with his buddy Frog, who has water, and guess what lightning and water do together? You know, they zap. And so you learn your first dual tech together. You're like, oh, dude, so if I play with these two characters, they learn each other together and start to create techniques together, which I was like, that's badass. I love the idea of working with others and leveling up together. So yeah, they do their first ability called X Strike. They go, so cool. Does a lot of damage. Anyway, reason why I say this, Frog's a homie, okay? You meet Frog, and Frog is like your best bud. And he speaks in like the old speak. I imagine and I would never voice Frog in anything just because this story is too close to me, but you know, he would probably sound something like this. Like, Chrono, we have to go. Magus is invading the country. We have to kill him because he not only killed my Cyrus, my mentor, but turned me into a frog. Fast forward, you fight Magus. Big climactic battle. You forge a sword, literally grabbing, because you travel through time to grab a rock that you can then use to make his blade, which then could debuff this wizard who you fight. This wizard's supposed to end the world, you guys. You fight him, and the wizard, right as you're about to kill him, he like drops to a knee. He looks cool as hell, by the way. Got like long white hair, and he's like, "You fools, you did it. You caused the end of the world." And you're the heroes. You're like, wait, what? He's like, you thought I was trying to end the world. I was trying to summon this monster from the center of the earth to kill it. And you guys literally hurt me, and now we can't do it. So the monster comes out, you're like, no. Big moment of like subverting expectations. You think you're the hero, turns out you were the villain. Magus. Spoilers, again, this is Chrono Trigger Primer. One of the first games I ever played where they kill the protagonist. Chrono dies. He sacrifices himself to save the rest of the party. You have this moment where you don't know. It's the most lonely feeling in the game, you guys, because up until this point, Chrono is always in slot 1. You can switch out whomever you want. It's open now. You can put Frog up front. You can put Robo up front. You can put Isla, the cave woman that you meet. You can put Luca. there's no leader. You're leaderless. Literally, your party looks at each other and they're like, which begged the question to me as 12-year-old Ricco, what would this world be without me? Have you imagined your life? What would your loved ones do? What would your friends do? What would everyone do in your life without you? What goes on without you? And that's what this game does. You are left to imagine what this world will be without you. You can beat the game without Chrono. You don't have, there, of course, is a way. This is Toriyama. You could wish Krillin back a million times. You know what I mean? Like literally, it's Toriyama art style, you guys. So it's beautiful. And there's a beautiful. You have to find this egg. You have to travel through time, obviously, a bunch, and you eventually bring Chrono back. When you come back, it plays this dope ass musical score by Mitsuda. Mitsuda's incredible. By the way, do you guys know the Nobuo Uematsu by chance? Do you know that name? He famously orchestrated most of Final Fantasy, which is incredible music, right? Mitsuda. Uematsu was so busy working on Final Fantasy, when they offered Chrono Trigger to him, he was working on it. He's like, this seems like a lot of work. I'm not going to do it. And Mitsuda was like, oh my God, it's my time to shine. I'm going to orchestrate this new game. So he poured his life into this game. Literally, there's a Japanese word for you work so hard, you almost kill yourself. I forget it right now. But he did that. He almost killed himself working on Chrono Trigger. And the score is incredible. All that said, trumpets, drums, all this stuff's playing as you get Chrono back. It's badass. You go, though, right after this moment, after you're literally like basement barrel, the main enemy stole all your money. They stole all your equipment. You're naked and afraid, like the television show. All you have are your friends. And you go to what is this mountaintop, Cape Howell, I believe it's what it's called, or North Cape. It's just this lonely thing. Everything's been, by the way, and there are all these people you were trying to help and you failed, so they're all like sad now too as well. So you're like limping up to this hill and there's Magus. He's sitting there. He's got his cape flowing in the wind. And you're like, what are you doing here, ultimate villain? And he's like, yeah, you guys tried to fight the last guy and you blew it. You guys are really weak and you suck. And Frog, of course, is there. And he pulls out his blade. He's like, thine crass villain, thou cream-faced loon. That's a Shakespeare quote. Anyway, he wants to fight. And all it says is, do you want to fight me? Or do you want to fight? Yes or no? He goes, do you want to fight me? And he's sitting there pulling his glove down all badass. And of course, 12-year-old Ricco's like, hell yeah, I'm going to end you now. And so I do. Cut him down. It's a pretty hard fight because Frog goes, no, I need to do this alone. I was like, no. Why'd you say that? I need all of you. I was like, I thought we were going to jump this dude. It's like, no, it's just going to be 1v1. He wants to 1v1 Magus versus Frog. Dude. So they go 1-1. Thank goodness Frog is strong enough and he still has the Masamune. So he kills Magus. Magus takes a knee. He's huffing and puffing. And he goes, all right, like I'm going to fade into darkness, but I got to let you know, if you want your friend back, you need to go to this part of time. If you're able to go through this, the guru of time will help you. And he literally just like fades into ash. And I was there. 12-year-old Ricco's like, well, that didn't feel good. Like literally with his dying breath, he's like, all right, well, if you guys are going to be the one to save this world, this is what you need to do. And I was like, it didn't feel good. Vengeance is supposed to feel good. You know, do you guys ever watch Vinland Saga? Dude, like you want vengeance for Thorfinn the whole time. You're like, please get vengeance. Maybe if you kill this person, like most video games ask you to do, it'll feel good. It did not feel good killing Magus. And I remember going to school. This is, again, like baby days of the internet. And I'm like, this is like the days of Nintendo Power and stuff like that. Like it was in a magazine, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm at school and you had to like rent the cartridge from the store or from like Blockbuster or whatever. And so I'm praying that no one deletes my save. Just what a weird thing in this day and age because it's all like cloud-based, right? You always have your save. You don't have to worry about, I don't know, someone deleting all of your work. You know what I mean? But I was at school on the bus ride home and my buddy Pat, he was like, oh, dude, it's crazy. Like Magus is so strong. Like it's when he casts that spell, it's great. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes like, oh yeah, I recruited Magus. And I was like, what? And I felt two things. I was like, first off, how? Second off, why? I was like offended that he put this guy on his team. I'm like, that guy's an a-hole. Why would you ever put the guy that did all these things on your team? And he goes like, yeah, but like, we were already like down and out. We didn't need to fight him. It didn't feel right. And I was like, no, you had to kill him. I felt strongly, guys. Like I had vengeful 12-year-old heart. A lot of stuff had happened to me by this age, and I was filled with justice. I was like, I want people to pay for things they did. A lot of baggage, a lot of trauma at 12. And I'm like, kill him. Yeah, dude, felt it hard. And Pat was like, yeah, well, if you play through it again, like there's New Game Plus, and you get a time machine. So literally, when you finish the game, it's like New Game Plus. Technically, you like go to the beginning of the game and you have all your gear, all your levels, and you can challenge again at Lavos at a different point and get a different ending. So I was like, okay, dope. Sorry, this just became the Chrono Trigger panel, but but I love this game, and I promise you guys it'll pay off in the end here. I go back home, I rent the cartridge. Thank God no one freaking deleted my save. I started up. I have to finish the game because Magus is dead at this point. I restart it, different dialogue. I'm stronger, more powerful than before. But also you get to make different choices. When Magus says, do you want to fight? I say no. He doesn't do shit. He goes, huh. And he turns around. And I'm like, man. So I walk away, and as I'm about to exit the screen, he's like, wait, I'll come with you. And I'm like, and Frog, he does that. Frog goes, and he's like, villain. He doesn't trust him, right? Because I feel for Frog. Frog is like my boy. I feel Frog's thing. And by the way, Chrono is a silent protagonist, so which is great. And you guys probably played games of JRPGs where there's silent protagonist. That allows you to populate your thoughts with the character. They don't say anything. Anyway, all that being said, that's why books are better than the movies. You always get to populate the world. All that said, he goes, I know where to go next. Let me take you. We don't have to be friends, but we do have to save the world. It's like, all right, dope. So I got Magus, and I was like, what the fuck? And he's so cool. When you run, everyone runs, but Magus floats off the ground when he runs. He's the only guy who casts true shadow magic, which, by the way, you cannot pair shadow with light. You cannot pair shadow with fire. You cannot pair, shadow is its own element. It is a lonely, solitary thing, just like Magus. He's super edgelord, right? Emo boy times 20, right? So, but when you learn about his backstory, because you have him in the party, you start to get new text. The villains that you fought before, they're like, Lord Magus, you're with them? Like, how could you? And of course, they fight you, but they're conflicted now. Because they're like, wait a minute, you're our boss, but you're fighting with him. He's like, whatever, we just gotta, and Magus is cool as ice. He's like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna kill you guys now. I knew you're my subordinates, but sorry, we got things to do. And I'm like, this guy's so cool, what the hell? You find out after fighting this game, you do the game at least 3 or 4 times to get super buff. You're level star. You can beat the game with just Chrono if you want, get the best designer ending. But one of the most beautiful things you learn about is that all the reason why you're able to even try to save the world, the reason why there's time travel, there are these portals, the reason why you are even called. They talk about the earth is its own organism, and it's got this big scar, and the way it's trying to heal is to use its antibodies, but the antibodies are us. We are the cells that are trying to heal the planet, and some of us are not. You know what I mean? So human conflict is actually the earth fighting itself, fighting a wound, which I was like, that's 13-year-old Ricco, because I've now had a birthday. I'm like, this is incredible. You find out that Magus's sister, he's been looking for her throughout time, and he's been trying to save her. And in every single, Doctor Strange, in every iteration of time, it's impossible. She has to die in order for the world to continue. And he's been trying over and over and over to find her. And man, there's a very lonely part in the where you have to say goodbye. It's actually got one of the most famous video game moments in the whole thing. It's called the campfire sequence in Chrono Trigger. If you guys look at it, it's where all these people gather around the campfire and are just like, hey, so how have your adventures been going? Because everyone's from different times. It's gorgeous. And I could literally do a whole panel on that later or another time. But Magus, because he keeps going back, he keeps losing his memory. So when he gets deposited back in the Middle Ages, he's there in this forest and he's like, all I know is I'm looking for her. That's the only memory. Whenever he restarts his life, that's the only thing he remembers is I need to find her. And it's just so poetic and so filled with loss. His life is forever lost, dude, which is why he's just so cold and unforgiving. But you can change. You can change the past. And that was the most thrilling thing as a young man who had not a good upbringing, was thinking I always thought to myself, what if things were different? What if I don't know, that person was just a little nicer to that person? Maybe they wouldn't have argued. Maybe if I had said this to my dad, that wouldn't have happened to my mom. Maybe if I had just been there. Now, mind you, I know we're all like, spilt milk, right? Like there are things like move on with life, right? Do your thing. But it incepted me. I was like fully on the board with being like, Chrono Trigger taught me that there's nothing more important than the present moment. And the way that you treat people and the things you do and say really do matter far beyond than you can ever think. The whole butterfly effect thing, like that is real. And like, yeah, it's pretty weighty to think about like actually what you do. Like you could save a person's life just by opening a door for them, by being kind. But that's real. That is real. So obviously the responsibility be like, oh my God, I gotta like, are you okay? You know what I mean? Like you don't want to think about it like that because that's hard to live life with like, you got Atlas, right, on your shoulders. But I think it should reinvigorate you to know that like you have so much agency in every moment of your life, like every second, every like tick of that talk, of the clock, man. It's like you could be doing something amazing right now. And again, 13-year-old Rico's like, I gotta go work out. I gotta go, like, I gotta go do something like right now because like life is passing you by, and make the right choices in the moment. I'll do one thing just to tie it into like anime and My Hero. Do you guys remember My Hero Academia? You guys watch it? There's a sequence where Mirio and Midoriya, Mirio's taking Midoriya on his first like hero walk. He's like, it's a patrol. We go around the street, nothing big. You just make sure people are okay. They go down an alleyway and bump into Overhaul, the main villain. And they're like, oh shit. Mirio is told by Sir Night-Eye, stay undercover. He doesn't know who you guys are. He shouldn't know about Midoriya. Definitely not. Be conservative. Be safe. Hide. Midoriya, he sees Eri. He's all heart. He sees her. He's like, we need to save her now. And I know each one of you in your lives have had moments where you're like, I feel like I should do this. The right thing is this. And then the other part of you that's like, no, this is not the right time for me to do this. I need to like, it's not, believe me, it's not cowardice, but like, I am not the person for the job. So I'm going to say no versus I am the person that can do this. So I'm going to say yes. Mirio in that moment is like, nope. Oh, this guy, he's just a kid, whatever. We're going to go bye. You know what I mean? And Midoriya is like, no, we fight now. It doesn't matter if people die or it doesn't matter if people get hurt. We need to save that girl, which if I had to poll the audience, it's like you could literally be 50-50 about it because if Overhaul figured out those people, it's not good. And who's to say they didn't have all the pros when they did that whole assault? Like they might have GG right there. Overall's like, great. Turns them into ad, you know what I mean? It's over. I had this experience when I was doing a on-camera class and in like something like this, it was like a convention room, and we heard outside, call 911, call 911, she's dying. And we're sitting here together doing a class, and I was like, what's going on? And so we went outside. There was a little girl, 3-year-old girl, face down in a pool. She had been face down for we don't know how long. The father was trying to do CPR, but you guys know, if you know CPR, the first rule is you never let family do it because they are all the chemicals, you know what I mean? You can't focus. You need to be dispassionate. You have to do it clinically and you have to do it correctly. So father's freaking out. The mother's wailing. The older brother who is supposed to be watching her, he's like 9 and he's like, right? Everyone's just like losing their minds. And they go, does anyone know CPR? I raise my hand. 50 people all at once go and look at me. And I go, but it's expired. Which in the state of Texas, there's no Good Samaritan law. So if I were to mess up on this little girl, I'm liable for everything. Which is why the hotel said, hey, we have to wait for 911. We have to wait. Ambulance. So you got about 50 people standing in a circle, half circle around this little girl who's dying and or dead. She looks like the little girl from Game of Thrones, like purple and blue at the top. Do you remember in the snow? Just like that. She looked just like that. And I was like, if that girl isn't dead, something needs to happen now. And all of my instincts, like chemicals in the back of my brain are like fucking on fire, you guys. And I'm like, I want to go. But I don't feel like I don't feel like it's me. I feel like it's got to be someone else. because you can feel it. And there's such an ensemble effect of like all of us in the room going, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And then the mother screams, she says, someone do something. And it reached into my belly, behind my spine, and shocked me in my spine. I swear to God, it was exactly like with Midoriya when he like goes. It was like that. And I was like, well, I can do something, is what I thought. So I jumped over the little tiny fence there, and I sat in front of her. My buddy Ace, he was doing chest compressions, and I did mouth to mouth. I still remember, he's so sweet. He was an undergrad when I was in grad school. We went to, I can't believe it. It was like, here's my classmate. Didn't think we'd be here like this. Here we go. And he's going, you can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. You can, like, he's literally singing Staying Alive, even though like, like literally the whole fucking song. It's kind of funny in hindsight, but like, and I'm sitting there, and between every 15, I'm like, okay, here we go. And I breathe, big deep breath, and we're going, and we start doing CPR for what feels like 10 minutes. Her lips are ice cold. She's cold. I've been around dead bodies before. After about 5 minutes, you guys, I was like, I think I'm breathing into a dead girl. That's, I think, and I'm like, it's so funny, guys, how we are as humans. We're so sensitive to each other, you know, because the second I let that thought into my mind, that I think I'm breathing into a dead girl, I feel like the mom sensed it because she was quiet watching the whole time. And the second I kind of like, I like let it in my heart for this moment, she went, "Ah," you heard this keening cry. And I was like, okay, well, I can't like have that thought. I have to think positively. I have to stay on it. So we kept going. I breathed harder. Ace kept going. A little bit of water was coming out. I was tipping her head, you know, trying to find, but like, man, there's nothing really happening. But then I saw like her eye go like a twitch. And I was like, I don't know what that was. And then I saw her mouth a little bit. And then I saw color start to come back to her lips ever so slightly. And she started to move. And oh my God, you guys, I wish I could wish this energy for all of you. Like, I felt like I'm like pretty straight edge. I don't do drugs, but I feel like this is like what like cocaine times 20 is. Cause it was like, I was like, I feel alive. I'm like, she's alive. I'm alive. We're gonna bring I'm like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win this shit right now. And so like, I'm like, she's moving. There's movement, and everyone gets really quiet. There's just a bunch of humans like in a little shell around us, and we're breathing. And now I'm talking to her. I'm like, all right, honey, you're gonna breathe. You're gonna breathe in 3, 2, 1, breathe. And then I breathe into her. She takes the breath in, and she's like, you could tell her face is like, it doesn't feel good, you know, whatever it is. And I'm like, fuck yeah, it doesn't feel good. Excuse me. But like, anything, pain is better than the nothingness. Any amount of pain is better than the zero that is nothingness. I know that we could contest that, but I'm telling you, like, that is my truth after looking at this. I'm like, yes, feel that pain, come back. And dude, like, she slowly started coming back. She started opening her eyes. Of course, like now it's like happy tears. We're still going, like on cue. Once we got her, the ambulance pulls up. EMT comes up, you know, they come up and they're stabilizing her. They have to get her information, you know, all my stuff. What did you do? Are you CPR certified? I'm like, yes, but it's expired. You know, all these things. I don't know if the girl has brain damage. I don't know what the deal is because, right, this is what happens when you don't have O2 for a while. So they send her on her way, and I want to fight so bad, you guys. Like the adrenaline in my body, it's such an interesting thing. I'm like, I feel like I could take a whole like football team on. I'm like, come on, I'll break all your necks. I was like ready to go. And then I look at my friend Ace, and he looks at me, and we hug each other, and we just like just start crying. And I'm like, God damn, dude, what a day. And so we go back into the room to do our class, and this girl's doing the scene from Breaking Bad, and we're watching it, and I'm like, man, this is such bullshit. This is all like so fake. Like I'm thinking of my life, like everything I've done for acting. I'm like, this is all, I feel so raw right now. I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I gotta go. I just like snuck out. I went to go to Alamo Draft House. It's a lovely like movie house. And we were premiering Cyanide Happiness, which I was in that season. I played the voice of God, ironically. It was a musical theater episode. Chris Sabat was there, who plays All Might. And he was doing like the speech as I was coming, because I came in late because of all that. I come in. Oh no, I wasn't late because of that. I was late because I went to get whiskey at the bar. I just wanted to like quiet the voices in my head, because all I kept thinking was like, wow, we were all just standing there. We were all just standing there while this person died. that's not right. And I was like struggling with it because people are like, oh, don't you feel good? I'm like, I feel heavy. I feel heavy at like what humanity is. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's a happy ending. She was alive. But I- dude, yeah. So I was there. I drank a bit, got a little sauced, and then I went in, and yeah, Chris was like, "Hey, what's up, Rico? You're late to your own premiere, ha ha ha." And I was like, "I was saving a little girl's life." And he's like, "Ha ha ha! Of course you were." Blah, blah. I sat down, and I'm like, and uh, dude, yeah, like that's the thing, right? But all of this to say, it's like in the moments in your life when something like that happens, when it's like, are you the person to do this thing, or are you not? Are you going to step up? Are you not? We have a lot of shootings in Texas, a ton. And I teach. I have active shooters on campus like more frequently than I want. And I'm like, they're trying to hand me a gun. I'm like, Rico, do you want a 9 mil? And I'm like, I want to teach acting. I don't want to have to. Can you imagine if I'm teaching you a scene and I'm like, do it better? Like, that's, don't get me wrong. Like, very tense. I'm sure the acting would be carved in very, very quickly. But yeah. It just made me think about this kind of the yeah, the state of the world, and like when the push comes to shove, we have run, hide, fight. Any teachers in here? Hey, everyone teach. They told me when I was teaching community college, they were like, all right, first thing you do is you run. Okay, so if there's someone bad, we all run together, get away. If you can't do that, you hide. Okay, we're gonna find a nice place. So I showed people in the theater. Thank you, Tan. There's I showed them the underbelly of the theater, which is really good. Sorry. Thank you, 15. I showed, and theater's a great place to hide, by the way. Lots of like, like sets from different plays and things. What shooter's gonna come in and look at the set of freaking Grease and be like, there's no one hiding behind that big cardboard car or whatever. Like, I don't know. But it was really cool to show people like all the different places. But I kept thinking, oh, this is so sad. Run, hide, and then fight. I was like, worst case scenario, there's a person there. I'm gonna take all of my actors and what? We're gonna bum rush them, and then hopefully only a few of us get hit. I'm like, dude. What? Like, come on. That's what I'm teaching. Like, this is like I wish it was a video game. You know what I mean? I wish it was just Chrono Trigger, but it's not. It's like the lessons we learn from life, man. When you have to make those choices, like you got to make them. And I, much like Mirio, was like, this isn't the right time for me to do this thing. But like, I was like, if I moved a little bit faster, maybe she would have been okay. Which, oh, this is the dovetail, or the final little bit to this story. I was at a convention in New York, and there's a gentleman who I met in Chicago, and he travels to different. I get some fans that follow me around. It's really sweet. But this guy specifically is like, hey man, yeah, like, what is it? My uncle's name is Rico, so I like to call you Uncle Rico because I have nephews. Like, oh, that's fun. And so he's like my age, and he's like calling me Uncle Rico. It's really sweet. Anyway, he's been seeing me at a few conventions, always very kind, and a lot of the fans I have, especially my hero fans, very kind. But it had been some time since I'd seen him in Chicago, and he comes to New York. He's like, hey, I just want to let you know. I know I've seen you a few times, but I flew here just for you. I just came to see you. Finally, I got done with all the lawyers and stuff. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, but I can talk to you now about this. You saved my niece's life that day. He's like, I heard you tell that story, and I wasn't allowed to talk to you. Like, I wasn't like, because of like all the stuff. He's like, but there's been enough time that I can now tell you that she's fine. She's okay. And I was like, because that's what was always in the back of my mind, right? It's like, did I do the right thing? Is this, she doesn't like anime, which I'm like, that's fine. It's okay. She's like, but I tried to show her why here. It's fine. It's okay. You can enjoy what you want. Enjoy whatever you want, dude. Just go enjoy your life. That's all I'm saying. Just enjoy your life. But man, he came up and he told me that. I was like, dang. It's wild, y'all. You never know. You never know. Like, I mean, obviously there are critical moments like that in life. Like CPR certification, by the way, it's like not even like 15, 20 bucks. Just go do it. It's just good to have, because the fact that we can literally give each other breath and move our hearts with our hands like each other, it's incredible. We are far more alike than anyone ever wants us to think that we're different. That's like my main takeaway always. Like, is like, man, I will never let anyone convince me that like I am so much like every single person across from me. Like you know what I mean? Like anyone who's trying to, I used to do sales for a long time. Anyone who's trying to not do that is just they just want something from you. They're trying to, prove you some way or another. I'm like, yep, I got it. I figured it out. I'm like, I can see the humanity, like myself in each one of every person that I see. And I know it in my heart in like a galvanized way. And it started with like a little video game and Chrono Trigger, and it sprouted and bloomed and kind of cultivated and vined around my life into those moments. And then so I'm here with you guys talking, reciting this story, which was very load bearing for my life. So thank you for sitting there for like literally half an hour and listening to that story, all catalyzed by you, by the way. So thank you. Takes inspiration. Yeah, favorite movie, I'd say Wall-E. So I think we even talked about that last time. But yes, thank you for listening to that whole that speech. I guess you guys, it's really wild how sometimes art and life coalesce like that, particularly with games. I'm a huge believer in the games that you play reflect like who you are and what you need out of life. So if you're like fiending on games that make you like rage and like say just horrible things, you're like, oh, maybe you need to put some effort out there. Like, you know what I mean? You're working through something. There's something that you need to, you know what I mean? Get at the root of that. One of my closest friends plays League of Legends, which is apparently one of the most like toxic games you can play. And she plays it just like Zen Buddhists. Like, I'm like, how aren't you pissed that this guy like isn't healing you? Aren't you? She's like, yeah, he's probably just new. I'm like, but she's not. There are people that are like, but she knows why she's playing the game. She knows why she's playing the game. Some people play it because they want that something to press against. They want to be able to say like, you're not good enough. You're not doing what you're supposed to, because that's something else. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, because we all play games for different reasons. I'm playing FIFA on amateur, and these games are like 15-0. I'm just like, it's just fun to watch my little career guy win. I like watching all these people just throw money at him, and it's cool. I like seeing this guy be successful, this little fake soccer player. And I made him like 4'11". What's up?
It feels like since we have horrible housing.
Yeah. I'm not, oh man, sorry, it made me think real quick about like, I like underdog stories. So like you got like Ronaldo going up for like a header, and he's like 6'2", and then my 4'11" guy goes, like, hell yeah. That's what but that again, I'm creating the story that I want. So again, if you pay close attention, this is in my book, and maybe one day when it's all published, I'll share it with you guys. But pay attention. The things that you like to play, they'll tell you a lot about yourself if you really want to, learn. It's fun. It's really fun. So anyway, yeah, we got like 10. Now we have 10. Now we have 10 minutes. No, hey guys. That wasn't for you. That was for there's a gentleman that came out with a big cue card earlier, which is very sweet. Any other questions at all? Yes, sir.
So you mentioned yesterday that you're very familiar with Shakespeare's works.
What's up?
You're familiar with Shakespeare?
I am.
If you were to read in a few days, and there's a board game coming out based off of a Shakespeare play, which play would she find herself the most interested to see how that got translated into a board game?
Either Othello, I thought right away, because Othello's like a betrayal game with Iago and stuff, like a werewolfy kind of game with Iago. But I love Macbeth. So you got the witchy element, right? You got Hecate, Queen of the Witches. Like, I think about all the characters in that show. There's a lot of intrigue. You have Malcolm and Donalbain, who are trying to like vie for like, they're all trying to be king. You know what I mean? But everyone's got different ways. It just so happens that Mackers had he had the opportunity to do that thing. So, but I really love the witchy element. I love the unknown. Do you guys ever see the movie like The Witch? I love when horror movies just show stuff at the end. It's just like this broom sticking around. You're like, because the whole movie you're like, I don't know, maybe they're real. Are they witches? Are they not? And then you're like, as they're just flying around, like, oh, okay, they're real. So funny, dude. Yeah, it's like Cloverfield. You never see the monster until it's like, oh, there's the monster. But yeah, I think Mackers would be really good, man. Shakespeare's, he's really famous for a reason. The Bard. Which one would you pick?
I love the Othello, but I would think, generally speaking, Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, that's a nice one.
That would be so.
See, I went low. I went for the dirty, gross death. You went for like Happy Land. That's nice.
Yeah.
Midsummer's wonderful.
Like playing as Iago, and it's like a sort of a bluff, being sneaky over the players. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I imagine Othello has like really high rep, but he has like, if we're talking about like Mansions of Madness, like I mentioned, he though is a little more frail. There are certain people close to him because Iago is his trusted advisor. Iago has a really good rep, but he doesn't have like the status, the money, all these different things. You know what I mean? So everyone has different stats. It would be cool to roll like a lawful good Iago, If it's possible, but like maybe like your character be corruptible. So even though you're trying to stay down the straight and narrow, someone like literally makes you make a decision. You know, so you're like, I was trying to be good. That's how I feel with any video game that like you can be good. Like Baldur's Gate released the evil patch with like the evil ending, and I'm like, I'm gonna be bad this time. And then I saw Scratch the dog, and I'm on stream, and everyone's like, well, you got to kill the dog, and I was like, he can be an evil dog. He can be a real bad dog. Well, come on, Scratch. So, it's hard, man. It's hard to play against your gut. But anyway, great question. Thank you. Any other questions, y'all? What's up, everybody? Is that a moth? What kind of plushie is that? That's cute. Oh, sorry. Yeah, what is that guy? Is it moth? That's so cute. Do you guys know the game Hollow Knight? If you don't, you should. The orchestration by Christopher Larkin is some of the finest video game music you could listen to. It's fantastic. And when Silk Song comes out, you won't hear from me for like a month. I'll just disappear and play the sequel. Any other questions, you guys? We got like about 7-ish minutes until the final. You have so many ribbons. Well done. To catch up. Oh, yeah, please, yeah.
What's your favorite party in Chrono Trigger?
My favorite party? Oh, dude. Well, okay. First, Chrono because he's lightning. Frog because he's water. And I really, really like Robo because it's like not the boy. Robo's not genderless. He's a robot. He's not boy or girl. But I like all the lads. It's just really fun. But what's really great, and it's weird because whenever you have Luca and Marl or Marley, they have one of the most powerful abilities altogether. However, it feels. I've never been into like harem animes, you guys. Yeah. He's just like the boy surrounded by. He's like, look at all these. I'm like, man, like get some diversity in there. But when I got Magus, dude, it was Chrono, Frog, and Magus, and I was like, you guys got to get along. Is what 12-year-old Ricco was thinking. But yeah, so thank you. That's a question suited just for me. So thank you for that. Welcome in, friendos. Oh, thank you, 5. We got about 5 minutes left of my panel. I know some of you friendos just walked in. What's next after this, by the way? Do you know what the next panel is?
Ancient Magnus Bride.
Oh, nice. I'm in that. I play Rion in that show. Yeah, Rion Scrimgar. Yeah, he's very interesting. He's like a nicer, younger Nozel from Black Clover, but he also has like a chip on his shoulder for family stuff. Except for Nozel is literally like, no, we know we're the best. like quite literally, you're all garbage except for us. And if you don't know, now you know. Yeah, it's. But yeah, Rion has like a tough path. He's kind of from a lowborn family. And you guys watching Naruto watchers. It's the Neji arc kind of thing. Yeah, that's the closest thing I can say. He's like, no matter how good I go, how good I do, like I'm always gonna be the lowborn. You know what I mean? But anyway, I don't want to spoil anything. But if you're gonna Ancient Magus Brides, you guys should watch it. Let's see. So we got 5 minutes. Any other questions, you guys? At all? Anything? We've been talking a lot. You guys just walked in a little while ago, but for the past like half an hour, I like gave a sermon on why you should be CPR certified, and like My Hero Academia and making the right choices. But anyway, you guys are so patient. Thank you for hanging in there for that. Any other questions at all? I'm happy also just to vamp until my friends get here, and then we can all sing at them when they come here. Who is it? Oh, hey, yeah.
Sorry. What was the name of the game you were talking about? Frogs and Magus?
Oh, the name of the game is Chrono Trigger. It's on the 16-bit Chrono. Oh my God, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, little gray one. Cartridges. You guys remember those? We got Switch, so you know what cartridges are. But man, that game changed my life. But the thing is like I don't recommend it to people to play only because like certain art hits you at different parts of your life. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys have favorite animes and games that you're like, this meant so much to me. But you know what I mean? It's hard to like give it because. And I'll say it again for the folks that just got here. I know there's like when you were about 12 or 13 years old or around about that age, either a game, a movie, an anime, something that you watched that was like critical, like load bearing for your life. That's been the running theme. It's always been around that age that you find a piece of art that you're like, this is this is gonna be a thing. And for me, it was Chrono Trigger. In regards to anime, and maybe this will be a good way to kind of like close it out. So we have a few minutes. Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell was my all-time favorite anime. Even though I love the musical score of Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop because that's hip hop and jazz. Space Dandy is funk. I love music stuff. Ghost in the Shell, being a second generation American, parents immigrated here and I didn't, a lot to do with identity. Because if you aren't familiar with Ghost in the Shell, she is a very Anglo shell, like this very attractive woman who is actually like this ice cold Japanese killer inside. That's what her soul is. Her yeah, the ghost, as you put it. And yeah, spent a lot of my life with people telling me like, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, I really don't think that's right. You know, I don't think that's exactly accurate. And so that was a load-bearing anime for me when she was like, people literally look at me and they think they know what I am, but they don't. They have no idea who I am, which I think is really empowering to know that like, know that actually that's a great way to button up this panel is because we have 120 seconds left. And Shakespeare said, know thyself. It's the best advice you could ever get. Next to when Polonius says to Laertes and Ophelia, even though he's a bit of a fool, he says, "To thine own self be true," which I think is like, yeah, honor yourself, you guys. Like, honor the content you like. You know, games, anime, like the stuff you like, and be about yourself, because that light will continue to shine like on past you onto other people, and maybe even help you perform CPR on a dying kid. So you never know. Could be anything. Could be any of those things. But anyway, any fadeaway jumpers in the final 60 seconds? I'm taking this to the hilt. This is cool. Yeah.
What, for the upcoming Ancient Vegas panel coming up, what question do you want us to ask them?
You want me to ask them?
What do you want us to ask them on your behalf?
Oh, sure. Let's see. Let's think of something for Rian. Let's see. I'll be like, why? You should ask, why is Rian so like? Why is he so sexy? But you gotta sell it. You can't laugh like that. You gotta be like dig deep and just pretend like it's okay. Here, I'll give you a little. This is acting coaching 101. Okay, I want when the thought enters your mind, it's like you're trying to untangle a sexy ball of yarn, because you can't find why. I don't want them to walk in while I'm saying this because they're probably gonna come in through there. But like, yeah, block that shit. Like, just be like, struggle with it. I need you to like try to articulate. You've been puzzling over why he's just so attractive. Like the way the way he looks, the magic he performs, and his voice. There's just something about it. Like and then see, because I bet they don't even know that it's me that voices him. I bet they don't. Yeah. Who's in that panel? Is it who?
Danny and Bro.
Okay, great. Yeah, ask them. That's good. And then ask it again. Ladder this. That's the second question. Yeah, I had the same question. Everyone raise their hand. They'd be like, that was my question. This is all an acting exercise, you guys. Because if the ensemble does it together, it hits really hard. Have you seen those like Japanese game shows where like they mess with one person? So like everyone's walking and then they all like duck. And then the one person's like, ah. Yeah, you got to do that. Okay, it's 4:00. Where are they? You guys back there?